I used to go every once in a while. Well, like I said, over at Meeker, all one winter, we run horses all one winter. Just like you go fishing, a bunch of us. And I was feeding cattle west of Meeker, down there ways. And on days when we wanted to go run horses, I'd have a load loaded up the night before, and someone would come help me feed the cattle. Early in the morning, someone didn't have any chores to do, and I had my horse there, and I'd we'd go run horses. There were several of us, and if I got through feeding early and everything was okay, a lot of times I'd throw my horse in had my horse right there, and I'd put him in the pickup and go to Rough Gulch. That was where the closest horses were. There wasn't many horses there, but it was close. And I got there one time about noon. I got down there and started up Rough Gulch. And I could see I had about 18 inches of snow, fresh snow. And going up that gulch, there was, man, you could see there, two horses really been a pawing and a feeding in that snow. And I rode around a clump of cedar trees, and they snorted and took off. I rode right on them. They was busy eating. I rode right on them. And I turned my old horse loose, and he'd carry you to a horse if you could dodge the cedars. And they run right up a jeep road, heavy cedars on both sides. And that took me quite a little while to get a loop built. And I roped this one horse, and he squealed and just sucked right in the cedars, them old thick cedars. I was grabbing the saddle horn to stay on him. About that time, a big limb drove me off. Of course, I was tied hard and fast. And I raised up, and there I had on chaps and overshoes, 18 inches of snow. And I raised up, both horses were still going, my horse staying right with him. And I seen him step over the rope. All I could think about was, and I run up, jumped up and run, and all I could think about was they'll jerk each other down and I'll have them. And I come to where the trees, a little clearing in the trees, and there they were just getting up. They jerked each other down. And the wild horse hit the end of the rope again and sideways. And I seen my saddle turn. And my horse started getting up with that saddle turned. And I run over to him and I grabbed that saddle horn and pulled it back in place. And you can't do that. If you're out here in the hills and your saddle turns sideways, you can't pull it back. You have to uncinch it. But I pulled that one back. And I tightened my cinch, and I stepped up on him. And the wild horse got up, and I sat there and played with that horse. And here I'd run farther than I realized. With chaps and overshoes on, 18 inches of snow. And I sat there and played with that horse, and jerked him, let him choke down and get up again before I started driving him to the truck. And all of a sudden, I run out of wind. I hadn't been huffing or puffing that I knew of till then. And then the world started looking a little bit black there for a while. That would kill me now if I had to run that far. I hurt myself. The next day I done my work, but I was a little bit slower than usual. I was in my 20s then. That's it.
How old are you now, Ed?
84.
84? Well, you're still a young buck.
Okay.